Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for telling my wife she can leave because I'm not kicking my older kids out? I, 43M, have been with my current wife Amanda, 42F, for the past 6 years, and we have 2 daughters, Becca 4F and Eliza 2F, together, while I have 2 kids from my previous marriage, Liam, 17M, and Sage, 15F. The divorce was less than amicable, and since my ex-wife had more money and a better-paying job, she was awarded primary custody despite me fighting it. For the last 8 years, I've had my older kids every other weekend and on Wednesdays. A few weeks ago, my older kids asked if they could live with us full-time due to issues with their stepdad. Liam especially had come to blows with him a few times, and even their mother thought it would be for the best. I did talk to my wife about it, and I know she wasn't happy, as she feels uncomfortable around my older kids, although this is something she neglected to tell me until we had our first child together. Things since Liam and Sage moved and have been hard, and as much as I'd love to get some family therapy, my wife is against it and we're on a waiting list. Before, when my kids would come over, my wife would take our daughters to her parents a lot to give us space, even though I never asked for it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure being a step-parent is difficult, but my kids are really good kids. They have straight A's, lots of friends, play sports, and are incredibly respectful. I know I'm biased, but people go out of their way to tell me these things. So it has been terrible watching Amanda nitpick everything they do. Almost as if she's waiting for them to slip up so she can send them back to their moms. We had already gotten into an argument over the holidays due to her trying to push them out of our traditions. Our older daughter Becca is going through a biting phase. Her school wants her to get OT, and I've been working with our insurance since Amanda doesn't like the one at the school, but as always it seems like there's an endless wait list. So obviously the house is tense and we've all been walking on eggshells. Then yesterday morning, when I was making us some breakfast, we heard a scream and Becca came into the kitchen crying and saying that Sage hit her. Amanda ran into the den where Liam and Sage were and started screaming at them to leave. She was obviously pissed, but Sage told her she was sorry. She had been done with the TV, so had changed it to one of the girls' shows, and Becca got excited and bit her. She said she didn't mean to slap her and felt bad. I immediately calmed down because I think anyone has been there, but Amanda didn't believe her. Sage had a bite mark, for God's sake. Things continued escalating and our girls were crying, and Amanda screamed at both of my older kids to leave. Sage told her she would so she could calm down, and that pissed Amanda off more. Liam and Sage left for a friend's and ended up spending the night there. So for the past day, Amanda has been on one, saying I needed to pack their things and send them back to my ex-wife's permanently. I can't keep dealing with this BS. I told her this morning that it was an accident and she needed to let it go, but she's refusing, even threatening to call the police. She said she could never be comfortable with her babies around Sage anymore and that she didn't feel safe. I laughed because Amanda herself once hit Becca for biting her. She ended up taking the girls to her mom's, and I told my kids to come back. Amanda has been texting me that she'll be back tomorrow and the kids needed to be gone. I was ignoring her, but finally said this was their home and if she was comfortable she could pack up and leave. My parents came over and basically told me I wasn't wrong, but shouldn't have said she should leave. I know there are some things you can take back, but at this point I almost mean it. I would hate to deal with another divorce, but Amanda has been so terrible to my older kids the past few weeks, I honestly feel like she's become a different person. What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for letting my friend cancel her plane ticket after we argued about her bringing her new boyfriend on our girls' trip? So, my best friend and I have been planning a girls' trip to Barcelona for months. We've always talked about doing this, and it was something we were both really excited about. The plan was simple, just the two of us, catching up, exploring the city, and enjoying some time together. But about 2 weeks before our flight, she started seeing someone new. I didn't know him very well, but she was constantly talking about him, and it was clear she was really into him. Then, she told me she was thinking about inviting him to come along with us on the trip. I didn't think much of it at first, but as she kept pushing the idea, I got uncomfortable. This was supposed to be a girls' trip, and I honestly didn't want a third person, especially her boyfriend, tagging along. I tried to be understanding but told her that I was really looking forward to some quality time with her, just the two of us. She got upset and said I was being unreasonable, that I should be happy she found someone special, and that I was making a big deal out of nothing. I felt like I wasn't being unreasonable, though. This was supposed to be our time, and I didn't want the dynamic to shift. The argument went back and forth for a couple of days. I kept telling her I was looking forward to our plans, just the two of us, and she kept insisting that her boyfriend could just come for a couple of days and it wouldn't be a big deal. I didn't agree, and eventually, she said that if I wasn't okay with it, she'd just cancel the whole trip. I thought she was bluffing, but she actually went ahead and canceled her ticket. She told me that if I wasn't going to let her bring her boyfriend, she wasn't going at all. I didn't want to lose my best friend over this, but I also felt like I was right to want some time alone with her, especially since this was something we'd planned for so long. Now I feel guilty but also frustrated. I didn't want the trip to fall apart, but I also didn't think I was wrong for wanting it to just be the two of us. Was I out of line, or is she being too dramatic? Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for breaking up with my girlfriend after she said she doesn't want to have kids, but I do? I, 34M, have been with my girlfriend, 30F, for 3 years. From the start, we talked about our future, and I made it clear that I want to have kids eventually. She seemed okay with it, saying she was open to it, but as time went on, I realized she was just stringing me along. Last week, we had a big talk, and she finally admitted that she doesn't want kids ever. She even went as far as to say, "I'm not one of those women who thinks motherhood will magically complete me. That's why I aborted our last one, because I'm sure of myself." At first, I was shocked, thinking I might irked her for some reason, or maybe it was just a temporary feeling, but then in morning she dropped another bombshell: "I'm happy with my life as is. If you really want kids, we should probably go our ways." I was devastated. She knew this was something I wanted. I've supported her dreams, her career, even moved cities to be with her. Yet, when it comes to something so fundamental to envision a life together, she tells me it means nothing for her to have a baby. What hurt the most was when she said, "If you leave me over this, then maybe you never loved me in the first place." Like, seriously? That felt like an emotional manipulation tactic, trying to guilt-trip me into staying in a relationship where we're clearly not on the same page. I had a terrible mother who didn't love her children, and I felt convincing her would be a bigger failure if she didn't adore my kids. So I broke up with her. She's been calling and texting nonstop, crying about how I destroyed everything, but I honestly don't feel guilty. I'm not willing to sacrifice my future for someone who won't even consider making a family together. I've been so invested in this relationship that I've lost good friends and have no one to talk to who will understand this. No one should have to find a new relationship at this age. I'm so crushed I feel like I'm doomed for life. Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for telling my partner if he's unwilling to commit I'll leave and wait for the right person? When we first started dating, we had the "what are you looking for" discussion, everything line up, both looking to settle down and looking for marriage, both loved holidays. Family get-togethers, cookouts, etc. Fast forward, he hates holidays, literally ruined Christmas. When we discuss marriage, he now never sees himself getting married because it's pointless. But what about saying you wanted it? I told him point blank if he couldn't see himself committing to me in that way, I would walk away and wait for the right person to come along. He wasn't a fan of this and told me I'll marry anyone who comes along and he'll marry me, but won't put a timeline on it. I'm sorry, but I won't be a 10, 15, 20-year girlfriend for some. That's okay. For me, it's a no. So, am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.